in Bangkok with Groskamp. You're obviously here at your new home, but of course the reason for a lot of this conversation is what happened in your old home in Holland. I mean, how have the last 4 or 5 months since you became world champion been? Has your life changed as such?
You have more confidence when you drive now. I think it's just more easy, and because you work so many years to get a big title, and if you get the big title, also a lot of pressure comes off, and I also feel just happy in life. Everything is, it's a good feeling.
Let's wind right back. I mean, just for background, I mean, how old were you when you started racing in Holland? Were you a very early start, like a 9-year-old, or did you were a bit older?
No, I was well, not old. I was 13 years when I really started to race on the track. I started in Hampstead track, but when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I play on the street. I think when I was 10 or 11, I actually bought a Tamiya car, and I still play on the street. But it was already like just like a proper car, not a car with a wire or something. But
so, at what point? Obviously, you're 13-year-old and you're running at local track. At what point did you realise you're actually quite good?
Actually, because in the beginning I did it from my own money, so I really took it easy, and I went on the bike to the track in Hampstead. I just brought some battery packs that I charged at home. I did 2 or 3 packs, and I went back home on the bike. And I used just a couple of tire sets a year. But actually soon I was able to be in top of the club racing, and then the year after, when I was 14, I just decided, and also my father, he said, why not join like a national championship? And actually I won the national championship when I was 15 years old. So actually when I was driving only two years, I won the first championship. At that time I still in school, and after college I also went to the school for like electric stuff. So actually till I was 21, I did some races, just like the national championship and some of the European championship. But at that time I really couldn't do a lot of races. I wanted to do, but school was more important. So I stopped school when I was 21, and exactly in this year I actually caught up with X-Ray at that moment, and then I get like a full sponsorship, and at that time we went for the first time to the World Championship in South Africa in 2002. Actually it was quite a surprise, because in Africa I made a final, because X-Ray was a new company, and I think I was the first guy who was sponsored, and we only came there with 3 drivers, including Martin Hoodie. And so it was, for us, it was also just a surprise to make the final. And I think already at that time I get the confidence, so I could make the A final in the World Championship. And I was always looking up to guys like Atsushi and Masami and Spichet and Barry Baker and all these guys. And I could actually run with those guys at that time. So
obviously we're moving forward, and obviously in the last 4, 6 years you've been working with Tamiya and the team itself. I mean, what is that sort of team environment like? I mean, are you a proper team, or are you a loose? By that I mean, obviously, would you sacrifice your performance for one of your teammates, or are you more just trying to make sure everyone does as well as possible?
Actually, in the Tamiya team, I've learned that it's very important to help each other, and so I think it also shows that the last 3 worlds we win, and this is only because of the team effort, because we don't hide anything. We put the bottle of additive on the table. We use the same bottle, and we don't have any secrets. And I think this is just the strength of the Tamiya team, that we are open-minded for everybody. And in the X-Ray team we were also open-minded, but at one point the team got too big. And if a team gets too big, you don't want to say all the secret anymore, because it will spread out over the whole pit lane. So I think it's better to have a small team, but a strong team. And I think the Tamiya team, for me, it is a good choice, because team effort really helps to win the race.
I mean, that's interesting because within the Tamiya team, of course, you all have different sub-suppliers, don't you? I mean, you're obviously with Protoform and the teacher, but obviously your team Orion as far as electrics and batteries and is that where you think you have to try and get the edge on the other Tamiya drivers?
Yes, exactly, and that's why I don't want to have any secrets for the driver, because my secret is the motor and the battery, and of course the speed control. So that's the reason I don't see any problem to give all the information away to my team driver, because I know I'm not driving the same motor, battery and speed control. So I have to get the benefit out of the speed control to be able to be faster than my teammates. Yeah.
I mean, how involved are you in the development of the electrical products? I mean, obviously you can race all year here. You get sweat a lot, but you can race all year in Bangkok where you're now based.
Yes, yeah, of course. We made a lot of progress in the development.
Development, yeah.
Yes, of the battery, motor and speed control. Especially the last 2 years, I've been working really hard together with Oscar to improve the speed control, motor and battery. And of course, being in Thailand helps a lot because the temperature is high, the tracks is high traction, so you really use the maximum out of the battery, motor and speed control. And the last 2 years we have been at the track together a lot to try and to test so many things. And I think this also really paid off just towards the World Championship. Because I can tell you a story, like in Hampstead 2 years ago, it was we had a European Touring Car Series in 2010, and actually Hara, he beat me on the straightaway. So I was so honest to say to Oscar, they're gonna beat us on the straightaway. We have to do something. So in 2 years' time, we actually did a lot, and now I could beat him in the World Championship. So yeah.
Let's go back 2 years ago, 2010, because that was a World Championship you almost won. And I remember you came out in the second heat after you had a bad accident and you were taken out, and you were very emotional. It meant that much to you. Why were you feeling so disappointed at that point?
Yeah, you have to imagine you actually work up to like the World Championship 2 years long, and you do so much work for it. And at that time, I think I really had the fastest car, because you can see in the qualification, I really, yeah, I really set the pace. Only the last round of the qualification, I think everybody knew I'm gonna TQ, and then the radio failed. And that time, that was the first punch, like, okay, and then I had to go back from Spectrum to 40 megahertz. And then the driving feeling was not the same. And I think this was the problem in the finals, that the braking was not the same. So that's why the guys behind me could just attack me. And at that time, yeah, not your life go all down, but it's like you really have the chance to win the World Championship, and to see it go away so easy just because someone hit you from behind. It's pretty tough, yes. Because I mean, if you're in the final and you know you're not gonna win, but you're gonna just race for place 5, 6, 7, then you can say, okay, it's okay. But now you are the fastest cars, you can win, and then you fail because also other people make failures. So yeah, for me at that time it was pretty hard. I actually never saw the videos back because I was so angry inside. So yes.
Well, we have an archive where you can see what you like. But so. About a year after that, or 9 months after that, you heard that your local home track was going to be the host of the 2012 World Championships. Obviously, at that point, you were many thousands of miles away. But do you get a feeling it might be fate? It might be an extra chance for you?
Actually, not really, because the track in Hampstead is quite big and open. So I already thought that the race is going to be very tough. And then I hear also they're going to make a chicane. And this changed the track so much. Actually, for me, it was very hard in the beginning to drive the chicane, because you were so just like used to the fact that you always go down the straightaway, you brake, and now the braking point is different, the apex is different. So actually, in the beginning, I really struggle with the chicane. Maybe more than the guys who never come to Hampstead. And I think sometimes it's really hard to drive on your own track, but actually it's not really your own track, because they changed the track. So for me, I thought it's gonna be really hard, maybe even more difficult than win the Worlds in Germany.
So you got there. We had all the controversy over the qualifying and the rain, the not rain, and you were third on the grid. Hara was ahead of you, as was Ronald. On Saturday morning, did you think, I'm going to win?
No, absolutely not. I actually had a feeling that I really thought that Hara actually was TQ. I think I was very, very lucky, because I think if Ronald was from TQ, I think he can drive away. I think especially in the first final he will for sure drive away, and then I have to have a hard battle in the second final to beat him, because my car was only good on all tire. You can see in the first final with the new tire, I lose in the beginning of the race so much time, so it's really hard to catch up in the second half of the race. So I was lucky that Ronald and Hara had a touch, and I was just be able to stay close to Hara in the first part of the race. Yeah, and then the finish line finish is, I guess it just came from just a snap of a second. So like, you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go for it, and I guess it was my lucky final.
Yeah, I mean, we watched it. And I thought I was watching. I thought, oh, he's blown it off. What's going on? And then you tripped the timing. Is that a trick you never pulled off before at that trick?
No, I never did this before, and it's actually it's funny, because I know the trick, because in the gas car, if you enter the pit lane, you can also have a fast time just before you enter the pit lane. So I knew you can gain just a few tenths if you go full, but as you can see also on the video, if you go too fast, you're gonna hit the pit lane, the rope, and if you hit it very hard, of course you can break your car. So I just touched it, but you can see, just like in the third final, Hara actually touched it harder, and he was on the rope. So it's not easy to go fast over the line, because after you have to brake very hard not to break your car.
So you had the win under your belt. I mean, and then the second heat didn't really go your way, and Ronald won it quite easily. So third heat, you're sitting there. What are you thinking where that third race is about to go out? Are you just thinking tactically?
I knew, because I think my luck was that in the second final I spin out, and I just saved my tire. So I knew that I had one run and about 8 laps on the tire, and Ronald and Hara have 2 runs on the tire. So my tires are better than them. Also in practice, just before the event, I knew in all tire, and especially the third run on the tire, you have to warm up the tire a lot. So in my opinion, I was very surprised, because I can see everybody make the warm-up laps, that most of the cars not even did one warm-up lap before being on the starting grid. And actually I did more than 2.5 laps before the start, because I know the battery will last anyway, the motor temperature is fine, the tires are okay, but if you run more than 2 laps, for sure the start is better. And you can see what happens with Volker. He spin in the first corner, because in my opinion he didn't warm up the tire proper.
So that put you into second behind Hara, and in your mind you thought, there's no way Hara can beat my first run time.
Yes, I knew this already.
I mean,
because
I think that's very, very calculated, because the first run wasn't clean. People had problems. Hara had a couple of little comings together.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you made that decision. You made it by, I think, about 1.5 seconds. But you were that confident in the speed.
Yes. You know what it is. I'm always kind of freak with times, and I know in already in the qualification, I think I was the only one who made 18 laps with all tire. But if you start on the starting grid, it takes you at least 3 or 4 seconds to be on the finish line. So you have to be actually 3 or 4 seconds faster than 17 laps in 500 to make the extra lap. And I knew with all tire, there's no way to make an extra lap. So I already thought, okay, I just stay behind him. On the end of the run, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna show the people I can do it. And I just stay behind him, because maybe he can still make an error and I can still win the third final. But I didn't want to make any risk. And
so you crossed the line. You've won. How does it feel?
Yes, this is yeah. You can see on the video. I still really would like to go back to this moment because it's a really great feeling, and especially when so many people from the family and friends from my home and club members and also old friends from my school were like 10 years ago. They also came because I saw it in the paper. So there were so many people there that I knew. And yeah, it's a great moment, and you will hear the people on the stadium shout and scream. And also my sister was there, my mom, and my father, and my wife, and my baby. Yeah, this is a great moment.
It was actually, I think, probably the most popular win I've ever seen. I think, you know, we were all really pleased for you, and it was great to see. But of course, next time round, we'll be somewhere else in the world. You'll now start as a favourite from now on with events. But you say there's less pressure now you've won.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's always pressure because you still want to be just in front. I think it's not a shame if you not win a race. It's like, oh, he not win the race. But I mean, for me, I think it's a great feeling to be the world championship, to be the champion. But on the other hand, if I go to the next race and I will not win the next race, I think it's not a big deal. Okay, if you're in a B main, it's maybe a different story. But I mean, I feel so confident now. It almost go just automatic now. The driving also here, it's going very easy.
Thank you for talking to us, and you are a very worthy world champion, and it's lovely to give you time. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.